Hi everyone and welcome back to my yoga. Today Ori and I have prepared a sequence that you can do on a regular basis if you want to improve your surfing. Surfing is a very asymmetrical sport, so doing some exercises like the ones I'm going to show you now are great to balance out your body and for all the strenuous movements that you're going to be doing in the water. I'm going to walk you through them step by step and I hope you're going to enjoy them. And yeah, get ready and I'll see you on your mats. All right, let's jump straight into it. If you've got a strap or a belt or a skipping rope or even a t-shirt, please grab that now. We're going to work with that in one moment. And for now, take a comfortable seat on your mat, either on your knees or cross-legged, whatever works best for you. I'm going to give you tools today. The exercises that I'm showing to you are basically tools for you that you can then take on and create a little sequence of your own with. So I'm going to explain to you how we're going to do them, but at home then you would take the exercises and just do them for as long as feels good for you, and also find a little sequence that, that feels good for your body, that actually helps you in order to recover from surfing or to build strength or flexibility. So we're going to start off with our shoulders. As you can imagine, lying on your board and paddling, it requires a lot of strength in your upper body and flexibility and also mobility. So the range of motion is quite big when you're paddling. Your shoulder joints are the most flexible, the most mobile ones in your body. So in this first few exercises, I want us to play around with that and to sort of explore the range of motion that we actually have here. So you can think about it as shoulder flossing almost, okay? So bring your arms out to the sides, nice and easy one to get into. Palms facing down, and then we'll just rotate our palms up, and then we'll bring them back down, and shoulders move forward, and we're going to try and bring the palms facing up again, and then back to start, rolling in forward. So you can do that a few times, and you might feel how your shoulder blades and the back are actually moving constantly as you're moving around here. And then we're going to go into a diagonal move. So roll the one shoulder in, the other shoulder out, and then do that on the other side. So doing that a couple of times. And just become curious about what is going on in your shoulders. How are your muscles reacting to this? Is there a little bit of a shivering, a shaking maybe? That just means that your muscles around your shoulder blades could definitely use a little bit of strengthening. It's all those tiny little muscles that we don't really automatically or consciously really engage. Okay, cool. So that's the first one, the warm-up exercise. Next one, get hold of your strap or your belt or your t-shirt or whatever you've got. And we are moving a little bit deeper into shoulder flexibility. So take your strap, find a grip. It's definitely wider than your shoulders, probably quite a bit wider. Especially guys have minimized flexibility in their shoulder blades, in their shoulders or upper body especially, because they tend to really build up quite a lot of muscle, especially around the chest, like your pec muscles. And with that, the shoulders are kind of constantly pulling forward. So you're creating this sort of hunchback. And in order to counterbalance that, we want to open up today. So with the strap, find a grip. Maybe start off a little bit wider and then you can work your way in. Put some tension on the strap. Bring your arms up now and push them back. So you want the grip to be short enough so that you can't move all the way around. Okay, you want that moment just before you can go around. So trying it out here. Okay, so this is where I'm going to stay. And then hold it here for a few moments. And you will feel this in your chest muscle. You'll also feel this on the top, or at the top of your shoulders, your acromion, and yeah, just a very nice way to stretch the chest, open up here. You can hold this for any time between 30 seconds and 2 minutes, depending on how long you you feel like going for the stretch. And then you can bring it down again. To make it a bit more dynamic, find a grip that's slightly wider now. And this time we want to bring it up. Again, tension here, shoulders come up towards the ears. And we want to bring it all the way around. And then we're going to reverse that, bring it from the back, up and forward. So move nice and mindful here. This is quite a deep stretch. Some people might have to take a super wide grip here, maybe even this wide, so that you're only drawing like smaller circles with. So you're basically actually drawing circles with your arms. If you look out to the side and you're tracing your hands, you can see that it's actually just a circle. And you can do this 10, 20 times, and then when you're ready, you're just gonna finish up the last round, and then you can place your strap and everything to the side. All right, we're gonna do one more exercise that works into the shoulders. So coming up onto all fours into a tabletop position. And now imagine your shoulders, we're gonna feel it now, but we're pushing the shoulders or the hands forward and then back again. Similar to what we did here, but this time with our arms facing forward. And so I call this a tabletop push up. So you're going to keep your arms straight and then push into the hands so that the shoulder blades slide apart from each other, creating some space for the spine. And then let them come down and your shoulder blades will squeeze together. Arms are still straight. And then push out again. You can have a little bit of a rounded upper back here. And then let them come in again. Let them come in again. And do this a few times, nice and slow. All these movements we want to do nice and slow so that we're working into the smaller muscle groups and not just have the major muscles do all the work. Okay, so you can do that a few times, and then you can also incorporate a couple of cat-cows. Those are always great for spine health, spinal health, spine mobility. Also sort of a flossing. All those joints that run along your spine. Okay. For a little bit of strength work, come on down, lie on your belly, and we're almost going to simulate paddling on our boards now. So we're going to strengthen our back muscles, the ones that are helping us to stay up here and to actually paddle. So take your arms out to the front, so forward, and then bring your one arm back. Out to the side, bring it back. So it really is kind of like you're paddling. So you're going to keep on drawing some circles with your arms here. Bringing the one arm down. And then you can reverse that as well. So sweeping around in the other direction. As if you're swinging backwards now. And take a couple more. And then whenever you feel ready, you can come down and rest for a few moments. You can repeat this exercise a few times, depending on how much strength you still need to work on. Surf fitness, you'll only gain surf fitness by doing surfing, really. Every pro surfer will tell you the same thing, but there are certain things like these, for example, that we can do just to work on isolated movements of surfing. So yeah, those kind of exercises can help you overall, but to really get paddle fit, to really get surf fit, you will just have to get on your board and get out into the water. Again, another good strength exercise is plank. So let's come up onto all fours, up into a plank pose. And now when you're here, push into the hands and round a little bit into the upper back. So again, you're having this feeling of this time pushing up. Engage the back line of your legs. Pull the kneecap up. Push into the top, into the toes, into your feet. Draw the navel in, really engage the core here. And then just be mindful of not allowing the hips to sag down or holding the hips up too high. You have a nice straight line through the body almost. Couple more moments here. And then we can come down into a child's pose. And this pose is a beautiful way to release some tension out of the lower back especially. Also opens up the hips here. Stay here for as long as you'd like. And then when you're ready, I'm going to come up and go straight into a downward facing dog. So walk your hands a bit further forward, curl the toes under, and then push the chest back. Come on up into your down dog. Walk it out, bend one leg at a time. Take some time to become comfortable here. Whoopa. Almost dropped my voice recording device, which also works as a phone. Okay, now from here, we'll bring the left leg forward and next to the left hand. And then just move or soften into this leg a little bit. A little bit of a runner's lunge here. You can move around. You can drop the back knee if that feels good. I'm just going to soften here. And then step back to your downward facing dog. And then we're going to go into the other side. So step your right foot forward, drop down, and move gently in and out of your stretch here. Your foot can roll onto the outer edge a bit as well. So, very nice, gentle stretch, gentle hip opener. And your hips are the other part that are often giving surfers some trouble, especially 40 plus, when your joints are starting to become a little bit more sensitive. Hip flexibility and hamstrings, those two hamstrings flexibility, those two things work together hand in hand to give you a nice lower back pain. So if you're tight in your hamstrings, you've got tight hips, lower back pain is often something that men especially are experiencing. So working into the hips always helps. Okay, so we're going to come back into a downward facing dog, and now we're going to make that again a little bit more dynamic. So step your left foot forward, drop a bit, and then bring it back. And step your right foot forward. A little bit of a drop here, and step back. And you can also see that you're actually working your core here nicely, which is something you'll need for your pop-up especially. And coming back. And one more time. And step the right leg forward and back. So we're taking it one step further now. Step your left leg forward and then come over onto the side into a little squat here or skandasana. And then take a couple movements here just to open up into the leg, give it some time to adjust. And then come on back, step back into your down dog, other side. Right leg steps forward. And we're going to roll over onto the side. Skandasana on the other side. Feel free to always explore those positions in your own time with your own movements. And come on back to a down dog. One more movement added here. We're going to step forward now, left foot. Come into your skandasana to the side. Now move over to the other side. And then move over to this side again. And then do this without your hands. Bit of leg strengthening here. And then come back forward. Runner's lunge. Back to downward facing dog. Step forward with your right foot, opposite side now. Into your skandasana. And then moving over from one side to the other. And no hands. And then back to your runner's lunge. And step back, downward facing dog. Okay, for half pigeon, one more exercise, one more pose for hip flexibility. Take your left leg now, bring the left knee behind the left wrist, so half pigeon, and the left foot slides slightly forward. Walk the right leg back until you're sort of sitting up straight here. Your hips should still stay or be in one line, so don't let the hips drop all the way to the side here. Try to maintain a nice upward position. And then you can come on down onto your forearms, or maybe all the way onto the head here. So even though this is a really beautiful pose, just be careful, be mindful over your front knee. There is quite a bit of pressure that we're putting on it by bending it and then also twisting. So always when you move into this position, do it nice and slowly. Take your time, really feel it out. In the moment something does not feel right, back off. So don't force yourself into any of these positions. And in this position, you can really stay for anywhere between 2, 3, 4 minutes. Beautiful pose. So take your time there, don't rush it. Okay, stepping back, and then we'll do the other side, right knee behind the right wrist. Walking a little bit back here. You can hold it up here. So when you're up here, you're actually creating a bit of compression in your lower back, which in this case is actually quite nice and quite healthy. Some healthy compression is nothing bad for joints. It's just continuous bad posture. That's what is actually the issue. That's what's causing the issues in your joints. But if you're applying some intentional compression between joints, that can actually be quite beneficial. Coming down onto your forearms. And whenever you're ready, we're going to come back out. This time, instead of stepping back into a down dog, just sit over onto the other side, onto the right side of your hip, and swing your legs forward. Last exercise, last pose that I want to show you and give you to play around with is our cow face. 2 steps to that. First step, right leg is extended, left leg comes in. And you want to place your left knee as stacked on top of the right as possible. So we are now going into this inwards rotation. It's very similar to half pigeon, and it's just a little bit further in, so your leg is not, it's more of an inwards rotation than half pigeon, where you're still rotating your leg outwards, if that makes sense. Anyway, so we've got this pose. You can either stay here, maybe come into a bit of a fold, or you can bring your left foot in as well, and then sit down. Both sit bones should be grounded. If not, then keep your bottom leg, keep the right leg extended. And so with this position, I have realized when I was recently traveling and I was surfing 3-4 hours a day, that I found myself sitting on my board with my hips being open the whole time. It was mostly point breaks, so it was nice and easy. There's not that much paddling involved. That's why we sat on our boards quite a bit, waiting for the waves to come in. And I, at some point, just realized I really need to kind of counteract that, all that openness of my hips. I really feel like I need to bring them together, roll them in. And that's when I sat back after my session and I did this cow face by my bungalow, and I just felt this huge release. So yeah, test it out, especially after long sessions when you're really feeling your hips. This position is very beneficial for that. Okay, let's just swap out the legs. So you're gonna start with, your left leg extended, right leg crosses over. Start here, bring it down. Maybe this is where you wanna go to today. Maybe you wanna bring it a little bit further. Bring the left leg in as well. And then you're back in your cow face on the other side now. And you've probably seen me do this quite a bit. So when I'm in a stretch, I actually like to move around just a little bit to give it, you're feeling out the position. You're actually noticing, I'm curious about the response that my body is giving me in certain positions. So now I'm sitting in my cow face. If I stay stagnant here, I just, okay, there's a bit of a pull here and a bit of a push there. But if I move around, I can really tell, oh wow, this muscle is actually pulling on that side, and there's something happening if I lean over to this side. So it's just this curiosity that you're building up if you're really getting in touch with your body, and if you're interested in what is happening and what certain positions are actually doing to your body. And also it feels good. Okay. And then whenever you're ready, you can release, you can bring your legs forward, give them a little bit of a shake, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So now you've got your, I think it was 6 different positions that you can go through in your own time. Play around with them. Maybe you can figure out a sequence that works for you, whether it's before your serve or after your serve. There's also a couple of nice moves that you can do on your surfboard while you're sitting in the water. Just maybe some twists or something like that. Anything to just get the spine moving a little bit, and to just counteract that typical surf position that a lot of us develop being on our boards a lot, especially if there's no other sports that is involved. Okay. Thanks so much for joining, everyone, and I hope that you've enjoyed today's class. Feel free to do these exercises on a regular basis. They're going to be great for your body, for your surfing, and also for overall health. So I wish you a beautiful day, and I hope to see you again sometime soon on our mats.